So basically, I informed support and customs, and we decided, BJ and Bart decided to give it another name, operations. And I'm going to explain to you a little bit what we do. And I will start with support. So first of all, who are we? The support team is me, Sarah, Usama in the back together with Sia and Ying, and then we have Cindy as well. The group partially also works in the customs department because at the moment we don't have somebody dedicated working full-time only on customs. So a little explanation, for example, Sarah is working on support, providing clients answers, handling their requests, but she's also doing customs clearance for our goods arriving in Belgium. What we do further, it's consulting, we provide service, lots of information to the clients because they have always questions, mostly the same questions, so we are acting quite often as a parrot. That's a slogan that we often use in our team. Yeah, today it's Parrot Day, you just do it. It's not always fun, but we have to write. There are clients. It mainly happens if a client has one account, for example, and that account is being used by 4 or 3 operational people on their side. And then behind your screen is the same name, but maybe behind their screen that's tomorrow someone else than today. We provide solutions, assistance, and we also create lots of confidence so that we can build a good relationship with them so that they can trust us and we can continue work together and gain more volume from them. So that's a little bit of support side. We are next to the sales department, the department that is most in contact with the client, right? Because product and tech is not that often in contact with the client. We are in all the client channels. We made there a little switch last year. We introduced the duo project. That means that an account manager is in duo together with the support member. Again, like Sarah, very convenient for me to use as an example. For our client YPL, she's together with Chensi, the duo, to manage the client channel. That means that both of them, mainly Sarah, if it comes to requests and questions, is responsible to provide the answers on daily basis, to create solutions. She can consult with me if she needs extra information, or together with Chensi, to provide lots of things to the client that he or she is asking for or requesting for. Often there comes also a request that we have to go to logistics for, because logistics, for example, is not necessarily in the client channel and we need their feedback, or just a simple answer like, is this doable for you? The client messed up with labels, those kind of things. So we're also like communicating with our internal parties if it comes to requests or exceptions that concerns the client. And next to that, we also do quite some communication with external parties. Think of UPS. If it comes to the claim part, parcel is stuck in transit, so it means it's not delivered. We are then also in contact with DPD or UPS. Why is the parcel not delivered? Where is the parcel? Then an investigation gets started and a file is claimed by us, and then eventually it's either a positive or a negative result. And we are also in contact quite often with the ground handlers if it comes to pending and missing parcels. Shipment arrived completely, however, after the eHub processed it, 20 parcels do not have a scan. Support also is in charge of following up on all those exceptions. So that's a little bit about the support part, or in a nutshell. Questions about this?
Yeah. You say you also help the customer if the last mile could be fucks up, right?
Exactly.
But why? Because the client chooses which one they use, right?
Correct.
So.
But we agreed on a service with them that we deliver their parcels in an X amount of days, right? So for example, with service UPS out of my head 2 days, we agreed that we deliver their parcel within 48 hours. If that parcel is not delivered within 48 hours, it's our responsibility to make sure.
You make a guarantee for another company's performance that you cannot control.
it's our service. We need to make sure that those parcels are delivered. We cannot say, it's also our contract, right, Koen? Because every contract we have with all those couriers is on our name. Our client cannot even submit a claim towards the courier because they would say, yeah, but you're not the shipper. The shipper needs to send us a claim, and that's us.
Okay.
So we take that full responsibility. Good question. But mind your language, no kidding. Any other questions?
What are the most asked questions that you get?
Really? that's a funny one. Did you receive my NOAA? You know, notification of arrival, which is like maybe 1,000,000 times explained by the China team and by the European team right here, that if the NOAA is received, you can find it in a portal under the waybill. It says very big NOAA, your waybill reference, the amount of parcels, but that's like one that it's really frequently asked. Where's my shipment? And that comes, it's also like in between of the NOAA. You have to contact the ground handler, but that's not actually in our service because often we just wait until the NOAA comes because that's our goal, to go and pick up the shipment. And the third one is often, why is my parcel not delivered? That's really the top three. Unless somebody objects here from support, raise your hand, please. But that's really always like, where's my parcel? Why is it not? Why doesn't it have a POD? Why is it still in transit? And then there comes our technology part, right? Because we make the difference, and we need to use that technology to make sure that we're always one step behind because we know it was not delivered. Because it says in our portal at courier if it's not delivered. So now we are trying to make solutions and also act upon that, and we have clips that's monitoring that so that we can act also on that. David, yes.
Did they ever ask why is it not clear here?
Yes, definitely. Those are the clients that don't have patience, right? And they are then the shipments just arrived an hour ago. Especially if it comes to the truck, the containers. Why didn't you clear my shipment? Yeah, we just, if it comes to the clearance part, it's like a FIFO principle. There are two ways also of clearance, right? Because a big part is automated. FBA, as we all know, is semi-automated. That means that the customs team needs to really submit the declaration. There we see often that if it comes to the FBA clients, they are impatient and sometimes ask, why is it not cleared yet? Yeah, because it's in the queue to get cleared, right? And it can also happen that you have an issue with your T1 and it was not notified. If your T1 is not notified, you cannot even start clearance because then you get by default an error on your clearance. So yeah, also a question that is asked often, but also because of the time difference, we always bounce back, wait, because we didn't start operation here yet. You can ask your questions if everyone else of us is still sleeping, but obviously nobody is clearing at 2 at night, right? Because then we're sleeping. Danit.
I understood that it's customer success in China.
Yes, yeah, very good, yeah. What's the difference? Yeah. I wanted to keep it here like very plain, but indeed we agreed on a new department, right? Customer success manager in China. There's quite a little big overlap with support as well. We're still defining in what is exactly the support that we want to provide here in Europe and what's the support we wanted to provide in China. But the success manager is there to make sure that our service is good, that they understand the portal very well. And that's a big part from that customer success manager because we often get questions whereby we sense that the client who's asking it doesn't have a full understanding of our portal. But that's the base, right? They have to know that in order to start to ask for the right questions. So the customer success manager there is there like to maintain the good relationship, to make sure that every exception is followed up directly instead of the big gap between the time difference and between Europe and China. First leg support there. Other questions? No, then we go to the next slide. All right, somebody just said it this morning. Who are our clients? We don't know our clients, right? So our target groups just to make sure that everyone understands who is our target group, are parties who are interested in distributing their goods into Europe without any hassle. Without any hassle, then again, there comes our technology, because we can do that without any hassle. Our tone of voice is trustworthy, flexible, and transparent. That's also what we want to, or not what we want, what we are showing to our clients. We are flexible, we are transparent, we share what they ask for, and we are a trustworthy party. And you can see it also in our clients, because I believe since I joined ViaEurope since the beginning, we have quite a few clients working already with us since day one. And that says also something about us, I believe. At the moment, we have in total 71 active clients. As Bridget also said earlier today, the biggest part is the Chinese market, right? And the second word stands for rest of the world. We have one client, PTS, based in Turkey, and one e-shop redrop in the UK. So yeah, that's like on the client side, some numbers. Any questions about this? We did this exercise with Loyals a couple of months ago. Who is your client, right? So we had with management and exercise to create the buyer persona. That's also then for you guys a very nice exercise, because some of you said that they don't know our clients. So as all of you are aware, or not completely, but now we have two services, FBA and Smalls. And my question to you is, define the buyer persona for Smalls and define the buyer persona for FBA. I can imagine that you maybe only want to create one, since for Chris, he just joined. Maybe he absolutely has no idea. But please talk with each other, take 10 minutes and define the buyer persona of ViaEurope. The gender, the age, the personality, those kind of things.
So is it the people who purchase our services?
Yes, our clients.
Okay.
Yes, yeah.
Target.
Yeah. And for you, actually, you should do both, right? You're already for quite a while with us, so you should know. No kidding. No, so if you only want to take one, you can take one. But I think it's very interesting to know how you guys see our clients, right? Unless nobody doesn't understand the exercise, please yell.
Maybe explain what a persona is.
Yeah, who do you think that the person is behind buying our services? You can also take just 2 examples. But is it a male? Is it a female? What's the age? What is the personality of that person? Very good question. Anyone?
One thing with the mic. Your hair is over it.
Okay. Exactly. Need help with the exercise? Smalls? Maybe it's something that we need to tell to everybody.
You need to tell us. Please explain FBA.
And maybe explain persona as well, because that's comes from customer journey, I think, right?
Moet niet moeilijk maken. Gewoon makkelijk. So, FBA is stock movement, as Bart just said, fulfillment by Amazon. So, stock movement, a box with 1,000 phone cases go to Amazon to be sold there. And Smalls are these bulk parcels that have little tiny packages in it from AliExpress, Wish, that are goods that already are purchased by the client. So that's the difference between these 2 services. Yeah, Bart?
For the exercise,
Yes.
focus on a specific role within our client. So is this the CEO or is it somebody else?
No, it's the CEO. So let's take the CEO for the buyer persona. So how does a CEO, how does the CEO?
Most CEOs are male.
That's not true. No kidding. It was yesterday International Women's Day. Watch out, because 30% here is a women.
That was yesterday. Okay?
Yeah, it was yesterday, yes. But hey, if you think it's a male, go ahead, right? Is it maybe like an European? He went to China and he started business there. Good luck.
For the FBA ones,
Yes.
we're impatient because you said they were. We guessed 45 to 55 years old.
For smalls, what be?
For FBA.
Yes, yes.
They probably manufacture their own goods.
Yes.
So they're sellers, not resellers.
Okay.
Not very technical. Good salespeople though, eloquent. Most likely male, but that's just guesswork. Savings oriented, which is a nice way of saying cheap. And
Good.
I don't know how we arrived at this, but shameless.
Oh, really? It's-
Just
it-
sex toys.
It's not.
And then for the smalls we have resellers, so probably a bit younger because they were usually startuppers, so 35 to 45 years old. And more customer oriented, also very good at marketing, also impatient.
Okay, thank you. Please do I would like to gather all these buyer personas from the group. So if you didn't write it down, please do so, because then we are taking them as a whole. I will give you a view on the buyer persona that we have created with the management team for FBA and not for smalls. So meet Bob. Of course, Chinese. So 25 to 40 years old. So exactly, impatience, right? You can also put impatient and wants to know every detail and cooperates, because they are really like on top of their business, right? They want to want to have a smooth operation and a fast one. That's a really important part of the process. And easy money is the best money. So don't use this for yours, because if I see that it's just like then it doesn't count, right? So yeah, thank you for this group exercise. Then we go to the last part. Already a lot was talked about the subject today, customs. I keep it rather short because, as you know, I am in charge of the customs department, not the technical part, by the way. I suck in that, but how do we communicate with customs? And I think that's really important because, as I learned, everything you say can be used against you. So you rather think not only twice, but maybe 4 times before you say something to customs, or most important, if you type a message to them, right? Because if they have writing, they can always say, but you said this. It's really important that we communicate carefully, but also be transparent on a certain level. And how important is this communication? Very important, because as I said, if you say something that they completely get incorrect, it really can be used against you. So you have to be careful with what you say. And it's not like we need to check, three people need to check before we click on the button, because at a certain moment, and also after several years of experience, I believe that I know what I can say and what I can't say. And it's my job now to train the people and at the customs side at that level as well, and be careful, because that's still we are doing e-commerce. And as BJ said, when we started this business, those people didn't even know what e-commerce was. So yeah, very important there. And how is our relationship with customs? If you compare it with a couple of years ago and today, I think we can be very proud at ViaEurope on where we stand now with customs. They really see us as a good company that's trying their best to do this kind of business, because lots of companies around us, meanwhile, went bankrupt or committed fraud, had taxes authorities behind them, and so far we have always proven that what we do, we act in good faith, as BJ also said earlier today. And also, that's also why I posted this message into this presentation. Quite a lot of customs officers only know us, the ViaEurope, by the declarations we submit, right? They don't have a face, they don't know the people behind it, they just see you as all the other companies that they're sending in declarations. So they know you by the data you send in. And that's why it's really important that we maintain our relationship also on a really personal level with customs, whereby I already have created quite some relationship on the Dutch side with customs at Schiphol here, and in Liège as well, to dive a little bit deeper, to get to know those people, so that they run the extra mile for you, right? So yeah, that's a little bit about customs and the way we communicate with them on a personal level mainly, and if it comes partly to business. Any questions about this?
First is if you can give an example. You said that you have to be very cautious sometimes on things or mistakes. If you can give an example.
Like they ask you something, like then I get called and they say, yeah, this ISS number is not, something about ISS number. I cannot directly answer that before doing my own homework. So I rather than check it myself first, double check with Bart or with BJ to be on the same page, same level. We give a strict answer where we all stand behind, right? Not that I'm saying something because I think it's like that. No, with customs, as I said, 2016, now 6 years later, today still, I rather check it double with Bart, with BJ to be sure that the right answer is given than instead myself taking the lead, assuming that I'm right.
I think it's good to mention it. This is not about how we say something or whatsoever. So we are really transparent in how we operate, and it's not about we need to word in such a way that it seems like we are doing something else. It's more about getting the facts right. So if they ask about a certain process, that we actually tell them what the process looks like. Because if you make a small mistake there, or you mention it in a different wording that is open for misinterpretation,
Yeah.
then they might use it and take a closer look at that, which even though we are very transparent and we want to work very close with them, it's also like we don't want to put additional attention on this, obviously. So it is just about making sure that you get your facts right.
And the second question.
Yes.
Working with the custom, for example, here in the Netherlands, is there any? I mean, do you see anything specific that we brought of value to the change of mindset?
Definitely.
Custom behavior in the way that they look at customs now.
Yeah. For example, this Monday, an agent called me. He's working there already for more than 30 years. So very, you would say old, because that's what we say about customs. They are really like not open-minded, like thinking in the year 1980 still. But that's really what surprises me from this guy, or this man. He would retire, I think, in 1.5 years. Half of his year he's already dedicated to customs, working in the old-fashioned way. But the understanding he has for e-commerce is amazing. And he really adapts to it. And he's also getting other people adapting as well. And then he reached out to me on Monday as well for, can you help me? Because for 200 declarations, they were missing the MRN number, so the customs number for a declaration. You would say, that's a stupid question, you're from customs self, why don't you have it, right? But immediately I said, no worries, we do it. So with my team, we did it. Not even 24 hours later, he got the list back. And these kind of things that are happening are really like creating more bonding, more understanding. Also invites, I have now invited 2 agents to our e-hub to see the operation, to be transparent, to see that we are here to help each other. We are here to work together in a way that's doable for both of us, right? Because as Vijay said, and it was a perfect example given a couple of weeks ago, there was this agent entered, he said, yeah, you're a technology company, you can do this and this and this. I said, oh, and the neighbors, what are they doing? You cannot ask from us to do it that way, and that for the rest, it's going the old way. That's not creating an equal playing field. Yeah, but you have the technology. I said, yes, we do. But before we go into that, everyone needs to work with the same standard, and not because ViaEurope has a technology, she has to do it. I say she because, you know, I'm a female. So yeah, I definitely see some, we really broke some barriers over there. We really have strengthened our relationships. Also at customs, guys, it is not customs. There are really several departments at customs. We have one for our PGTS, so what comes in, what goes out, that's a whole department that works on that. Then you have the department that is doing the inspections, physical, Dutch word, fysiek toezicht. And then we have the department AB, aangiftebehandeling, the person, the agent that is taking your declaration into account and finalize it when it was found incorrect or something like that. So it's not only one person we communicate with, really different departments within customs, because there are many. And not all for e-commerce, of course, so the ones that we work with can count on one hand, but it's not one department. Questions? Lots of questions during my session. How come?
How do we build a relationship with customs in Hungary, for instance, where we're really new?
Yeah, that's what we also discussed yesterday. Luckily, Bart, I think, and Stefan together already gave some presentations about the portal, the system, how we do it, whereby I think, what was the compliment we got given by the Hungary customs? Do you know that by heart, Bart? When BJ and Stefan presented the system? Stefan, remember?
No, we were there both, I think. I think they said that they saw that as an example of how it should be, the level of detail that we have and
Yeah.
the track and trace
So
that we have for the...
they're really like flabbergasted by the presentation and seeing that import declaration also can be done that way. So I think that's already a great win for us, because that we never had in Amsterdam. We just started the business, same for Liège, by the way, and we were just there submitting declarations. So now with Hungary, I think we already take another approach by going there. They see our faces, they see the system. We gain, I think, already quite a lot of trust. So I think that's a good beginning of doing it differently than with Amsterdam and Liège. And then I am planning to go as well to see them and also make contact. And then then we need volume, right, to clear goods, to have more interaction with them.
Also, this will be very different per country. I think we see big differences between Belgian customs, Hungarian customs,
Yeah.
Dutch customs. In Hungary, it's all military titles. So we met with the general.
Yes.
With the major.
With the major. You see, again, I love Hungary already. Yeah. So no, I really think that having that different approach already from Amsterdam and Liège, that is only in our benefit.
We already started about a year ago with that, so
Yeah.
longer. So we have met that lady and the team as well already quite a few times. Every time we've explained something about how we work, and for them, in Hungary they are interested as well, because it's also from economy point of view, more business coming there. So they look with that mindset at it. On the other hand, they don't want to have the, let's call it, the cheaters, and that they are being abused. So they were very much looking into it, who are we? And because we have a system and a transparent system, they could see also the logic in the way we are working. And that really helps as well for our story. And the fact that we already have experience in the Netherlands, in Belgium,
Yeah.
the European party, we have a few years of experience already here. We're not a Chinese looking for fast money and run out. So, and this all creates credibility, and that's what we're building on, and that's what we're working on.
Can we invite them to Amsterdam also to show them how we work?
So we have
Next
invited
Wednesday,
them
right?
as well.
Yeah.
So we, from our partner that we work with, we of course use that. I don't think they can travel that easily, but if they could, they would come, because they're very much interested in what we are doing and how we do that. funny part is when we come there for a meeting, we actually have quite a lot of people coming there from different departments, even the national customs, the local customs, everybody's coming all of a sudden, which is good because it shows how interested they are.
Matthijs?
To hire them?
Sorry?
You need to hire them?
Matthijs?
So just out of curiosity, you said they can see the logic. Is that, like, how does an audit look from customs side? Do they take a look into our code? Do they
No.
take a look into our
What
database?
what we typically do with these things is we look at screening. And we had a while ago some client reports in a portfolio where we have a dashboard with the scoring of screening, so we really show these are all the different things that we look for, and here's the screenshot of the URL, even if we don't use the Amazon URL in Hungary, that's what we show, because we really focus on the capabilities, select different screening reasons, so you say, this one is selected because of that reason, that one because of that reason, so that's what we show. And then also the fact that we have an audit trail of that, so if the client submitted the same data twice, that it was selected again and we keep rejecting it. So those are the kind of things that we focus on, the compliance, and then an audit trail of the shipment coming in, the clearance, where it goes to with the POD, so we have proof that it was actually exported again. Those are the kind of things that we focus on with them.
So Danit, at this very moment, we are not trying to hire someone in Hungary. First, we need volume there, then we see how it grows. And if needed, then we would hire Marion 2.0 in Hungary. But for now, no. Han will visit and travel there as well too, and also make sure that the logistics operation goes well. The customs part can be done remotely, right? There's no one needed physically on the floor for that. So, yeah. So, guys, any other questions? No. All right, thank you for your time. And yeah, that was it.